fine friends, family, brothers and sisters in the raw, RKS Guyana Free Media, in the cold, in quarantine, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for the purpose of worshiping, honoring, loving, caring companionship of my mother and her husband, as I sent messages of goodness, peace, love, harmony, kindness, history, patriotism to you, my friends and brothers and sisters in Guyana, in the concourse of humanity and the fraternity of religions and peoples around the world. Today, I thought it necessary. I felt the compunction. I felt the compulsion to speak on a man like others of great magnitude and contribution to human and world development, whose day today is the National Day of the United States of America. God bless his soul for being one of the great leaders that changed history forever, especially the history of America, and in recognition of the black, God's original creation of the land of Africa in America, and what is so called known as the free, modern world created by the Europeans to enslave, malign, degrade, and enhance their nations and their wealth. Our friends and families, I worship and honor my God, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all religions, and the deities that's worshipped in all religions and humanity. I'm speaking of the indomitable, the giant of human and American development, which traversed the earth and the universe, of the mighty man Martin Luther King. Today is the day that America honors a black man, and which the whole world of all peoples should bow in reverence and respect and make dua or prayers and worship to God Almighty to bless him in paradise where he should be. And may his life force, propel in the universe to inspire humanity for greatness, for magnificence, and to strive to always achieve and be the best we human beings could ever wish to be. Friends and families, he was born on January 15th, 1927. I beg your pardon, 1929. When he was born, you know, mothers, this great creature that God put the power of creation in their womb so that the world may perpetuate and create, so that man's continuity in the universe and on earth is guaranteed. When his woman mother, the lady, created him by the power of God, when she held her son, she probably didn't realize, but there might have been a movement in her heart and in her soul as was the mother of Prophet Muhammad, as the Mother Mary, mother of Jesus Christ, as Musa alayhi salam, Moses, and all the great leaders of humanity. Martin Luther King must have shaken her hand and her heart. She must have shivered to know that she is producing what some writers will refer to as a modern day prophet. Do not misconstrue the word prophet, because some Muslims have a tendency of not understanding when you are talking linguistically, philosophically about a prophet. That he would have been a charismatic leader in the earth for all times. And his mother might have trembled. My dear brothers, family, and friends, this is in the raw. Martin Luther King changed the world forever. And as a child growing up and having been given birth in Atlanta, Georgia, by the power of God, he saw the discrimination, the pain and the travails of the African people, the black people who built America for hundreds of years, and the descendants of the colonists or the slave traders who became wealthy beyond imagination. And even though slavery was abolished, they were still in a state of semi-slavery and lack of opportunities and opportunism. So, dearest beloved, divine friends and families, remember, this is in the raw. RK's Guyana Free Media. And so that might have pushed his heart, might have pushed his hands and his mind and his soul to achieve greatness by service to humanity. Beloved, divine friends and families. Not being able to take it anymore and becoming an intellectual and a natural leader and a man of religion and humanity. You never hear him discriminate any race or any religion, but his glowing tribute to mankind is that he had a dream. He had a dream that when he climbed a high mountain and he will look in the lawns yonder, he will see black boys and white boys and black girls and white girls mingling and loving and as one human family in the eyes of God for a better America and a better world. Dearest, divine, beloved friends and families. That was his dream.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
August 28, 1963. He organized not a revolt, not a riot, but be inspired by the world leader, one of whose photograph he has in his home and he spoke of, and he sought counsel of at one time, Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mahatma. Because Mahatma was no blood, no murder. You hurt nothing. Passive resistance. And he was inspired by that, and as has been and was Nelson Mandela, who said and made it clear and had a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi in his home as the inspiration of freedom in Africa. And Mahatma Gandhi was the first known liberator in Africa, even though some are trying to take that away from him unfairly. None of us are perfection. Martin Luther King, with that philosophy of non-violence, but passive resistance against deprivation and destruction, on August 28, 1963, he led the famous march, the Walk to Freedom. And here you can see in the video as I speak, and here is where the mighty man, Martin Luther King, caused a change in history for humanity and drew the ire of the world on the evil leaders of then America. There were always some who were good because white people marched with them. Let us not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that white people fought in the Civil War and died by the hundreds of thousands for the end of slavery and for black people. So let us give credit to those white people as well. But let us show this respect for those who hated before that, the Africans, the Apache Indian nations. Then, until today, there are a set of people who don't like to see African or freedom perpetuates, promulgates in America. We saw recently what happened in the Capitol building, where even during his presidency, he encouraged the riot, and I'm speaking of President Trump, who has brought America into disgrace, who is known to have prejudicial feelings against the Africans and against migrants and immigrants and people of color, and caused the most shameful degradation and disrespect known in America by an attack smartly planned to overthrow the seat of power in the United States of America. So the problem continues, but Martin Luther King created a change. Our beloved country and many other third world countries were in the fight for independence from the British. And we know that the British MI5 and the CIA were active in trying to prevent Dr. Cheney Jagan from taking independence, to the point where they went to the most despicable of destruction and caused the death of innocent people in a boat, and tried to make it look as if it was done by another race. The philosophy was what? And still is to a certain extent? To divide and rule, to break and conquer. So you can't rule physically, you will put puppet regimes in power so that you may control them in what is called mental slavery. Divine, beloved, friends and families. And with that, the battle continued. He became an enemy of the far right, the assassins and the murderers of Africans and black people in America, and all great leaders and scientists of that ethnic group that comes that they must be wiped out or destroyed or bought out. But selling out of their property rights, their intellectual property rights. Divine, beloved friends and families, Guyana at the same time was in a struggle led by Dr. Cheney Jagan and then eventually Forbes Burnham, but who was used by the CIA as a part of history. And the British Secret Service to keep Guyana in a state that they could capitalize for the resources of our country. And Martin Luther King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968. Of course, I was born in 1955. So 63, I remember, is the time in Guyana. I was a little boy moving around when ethnic rivalry was created and exacerbated by the same powers that conspired to murder and assassinate Martin Luther King and to keep many countries and their resources in subjection and control of Europe. They're not my enemy, and the United Kingdom, and they're not my enemy because we have learned and gotten many things from them as well. Nor the United States of America, which is my country, which I love. The philosophy of its freedom is like none in any other countries of the world. But there are some leaders as human beings with the capacity of thought and ability to think will create situations that are good and situations that are evil, friends and families. And then on my birthday in 1968, I remember 1968 was one of the biggest fraud of election took place in Guyana by Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham to perpetuate himself in power under guidance of the same Directorate of Nations who wanted to control our country. April 4th, ladies and gentlemen, 3 days after my birthday, I'm 1st of April, 1968. When we had our elections, Martin Luther King was assassinated in Memphis, in the Lorraine Motel on the second floor when he came out to take a breath. He was assassinated, slaughtered by the hands of the assassins of greed and hate. Today, America and the world observes and celebrates Martin Luther King. May the peace and may the mercy be with his soul and his family and his descendants. Dearest beloved divine friends and families around the world, your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Ocean Khan, in the raw, RK's Guyana Free Media, thank you for tuning in and saying farewell, friends.